And I need to address the elephant in the room, or should I say the ginormous king salmon
The
that we have
ginormous
here?
king salmon. Yep.
Tell me about this.
This is a king salmon. It's from a farm in New Zealand. It's a sustainable farm, King. They started raising king salmon or Chinook salmon in the mid-70s.
Wow.
They do a phenomenal job. It's a fantastic piece of fish.
And it's beautiful too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredibly fresh. You can see in the eye and the scales. It looks great.
And when we take the fillet off, the color is just outstanding. Yeah, the fat content is wonderful.
Nice.
All right, so you can see the color.
Oh,
of that.
it's gorgeous.
Just beautiful. So we're gonna take the head off and then find that bone. I'm just gonna go right back towards the tail.
That must be a sharp knife you're cutting through all those bones.
It is.
And you butcher all of your own fish in-house.
Yes.
And you have the seafood market here.
We do.
At the Easton Public Market as well. That's convenient.
It is. It's a nice. It's a nice thing to have 2 blocks away from your seafood restaurant.
Definitely.
For sure. So we're gonna take these rib bones off.
Beautiful. You're doing a great job with that.
Thank you.
You have a bit of experience, I'm sure.
I've done this a few times. All right, so now
Pin bones.
The pin bones. Yep. We're gonna remove them.
Okay.
I have pliers to do this. They sell tweezers to do it as well.
They're such a pain.
They are. Whatever you, especially when it's a smaller
But it's
fish.
worth it. Now, do you cook this with the skin on, or are we going to take that off?
This I'll cook with the skin on.
Nice.
I mean, it would be a shame to waste this. There's so much flavor in it, and really, so cooking salmon with the skin on, a lot of cooks will dry salmon out when they cook it. So if you you can think of the skin on a salmon like an insulation from the heat.
Okay.
So we're going to cook this. The fancy term for it would be unilaterally. So it's going to be cooked almost all the way through on one side.
Nice.
And what that'll do is that'll allow us to. Speaking of which, could you just turn that up to medium? Nope, the one that's in the middle. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to cook this all the way through on one side, most of the way. What that'll do is it'll insulate the flesh of the fish from the heat, which will yield a moisture finished product.
Nice. And I'm imagining you're doing this skin side down.
Yes.
So you're also going to get a really crispy skin too.
Yes. There's some tricks to that as well.
I'm all about the crispy skin.
So am I.
And the skin actually has the majority of the omega-3 fatty acids. I don't know if you're aware of that, but
it does.
Big fan of the skin.
So to do this, to cook salmon with the skin and get it crispy and get it not to stick to the pan, you have a couple things. So you want to dry it very well.
Look how thick that fillet is.
Yeah.
It's huge.
It really is. It's a beautiful piece of fish. The color is perfect.
Totally.
The fat content is lovely. So we're going to dry that off well.
So fresh too.
And then we're going to season it. We're going to season the skin as well as the flesh because we'll be eating the skin as well.
And do you score it at all, or
no?
Don't find a need?
Nope, not for this.
When would you want to score the skin of a fish?
I score the skin of the fish when I'm doing a whole fish. And
okay.
That's more to get down into the meat.
Seasonings.
Yep, and it's not an even thing. So
Okay.
you're scoring the middle more. It does keep the skin flatter, but it also helps with even cooking.
Nice.
Kosher salt and more pepper.
That's a pretty generous amount of seasoning too.
Yep. Well, the thicker the fillet that you're cooking, the more seasoning you want on the outside.
Makes sense.
So our pan is good and hot. For this, using clarified butter.
Okay.
It has a nice high smoke point, so we can get a better sear on what we're doing here.
So you're looking to get this pretty hot?
So
okay.
with this, I want to start this very hot. So we're going to get the fish in, and we're going to hold it down for a couple of minutes. What this will do is this will keep the skin in contact with the hot surface of the pan the entire time, and it'll keep it flat, so we get that nice crispy skin all the way throughout.
That's a great tip. I think a lot of people would just throw their fish into the pan and walk away, and then it curls up, and then it doesn't cook evenly, and it causes all kinds of problems. So
you can see now that's not trying to curl up anymore.
Right.
That's been seared. It's a little more relaxed. So
now you lower the heat.
Lower the heat a little bit, sure. You don't want to burn the skin. And by starting it, so I got the pan hot before I put the oil in.
Right.
Really important for non-stick cooking. So when the metal heats, it will swell naturally. And so when you put the oil into a hot pan, the oil will actually go into all those little micro pores that open up, and it'll make a more non-slip surface in your
Really?
pan. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Very interesting. As opposed to if you started cold oil, cold pan.
It's cold oil, cold pan. You know, now now as the pan expands, now the oil is going to drain down into those holes, and you know you have just less of your nonstick surface really.
That is a brilliant tip.
Yeah.
You learn something new every day.
Never would have thought of that.
Me neither. I'm definitely taking that one home with me.
Science class.
Flip our salmon. Now the salmon is pretty much cooked through, but you see the skin is flat, nice and crispy. And yolk down.
I love how they get a little like toasted on the bottom
Yeah,
too.
you get a little bit of texture on there.
Yeah, that's nice.
So we got our gnocchi down. Our fish is beautiful.
Do you cook it all the way through? Or do you
I
it a little?
I like my salmon medium rare.
Me too.
Personally, perfect.
Yeah.
Fish down.
And you do skin side down.
Skin side down. I'm gonna do skin side up for this. Actually, that's fine.
Do it however you like to do it. It's a beautiful looking
And then the
plate.
sauce.
It's not even finished yet.
So we're not saucing the pasta. We're more saucing the fish.
Okay. So you really don't even need the puttanesca here. This is like a great dish just on its own.
Great dish on its own.
And this is adding so much more flavor.
The puttanesca with the salmon is a nice
Yeah.
pairing.